Well, hi, and welcome to Saturday Sessions. Today we are going to look at how to stack your recovery wins. All right, so let's get into it right away. The first thing is that we have to recognize, continuously reaffirm that our recovery is going to take time. It's not an overnight success. We will be unmotivated at times. The drive to be successful, to be consistent, might not be there. Now, we still have work responsibilities that we continue to do. We still have maybe family responsibilities that we continue to do. But it actually comes to our reboot or our full recovery. There are going to be times where we don't feel that motivation. We don't feel that drive. We don't think that we're being consistent. So to face that head on and to recognize that, well, not only is it going to take time, but more importantly, we should stack these successes for us so that we can use them as our motivation for those times where we feel unmotivated. We need to use these wins to give us that added push when we feel that the drive is somewhat missing. And I think to begin to do this, we should really reframe our reboot perspective. So many of us started our reboots perhaps months, maybe even years ago, and now we maybe have plateaued. I think it's necessary for this success to reframe our perspective. And what do I mean by that? Look, it doesn't happen all at once. We know overcoming this addiction, the compulsive behavior, doesn't happen all at once. And it also doesn't happen automatically either, right? It's going to take days and weeks and months and yes, even years. But there's small changes that you make that over time, incrementally, will lead to ultimate success. So let's stack them up, because we stack these successes up as we are rewiring our brain. The result, my brothers, is success. So how can we reframe this perspective? Right? Well, I think one of the ways to do that is how you stack differently the actual skills that you're using during your reboot. Okay? Any kind of confidence that you can build in an array of areas is going to help make you feel maybe less depressed, less unmotivated. Maybe where that drive is missing, you'll be able to focus instead on that particular skill. Now, skills can be learning a new trade, or skills could also be how you use as a tool for your habit. Another thing is, how are you regulating your emotions? Because the emotional regulation is very, very important. I would actually kind of argue it's one of the key components to a successful recovery. We watch porn as a way to numb our feelings. And as a result, when you do start your reboot, and then continuing into your recovery, months and even years into it, you are discovering more and more of your emotions. Now, you can't let your emotions get out of control. That would be, that's going to be a problem. And you're going to be tempted then to turn back into some of those behaviors. And one of the emotions is pride. The pride that leads to arrogance, which leads to the thought, I've got this. I can edge myself a little bit. Brothers, there have been many men who I've spoken with, who I've been able to mentor and be an accountability coach for, who have unfortunately gone through some kind of edge or some form of relapse, and it's due to this overcompensation emotionally, leading to arrogance, to that mentality of, well, I've got this, I can handle it, it's okay, I'm over it. We cannot let the emotions get out of control. So we need to learn how to regulate our emotional responses. And this is one of those keys to reframing the entire recovery perspective. Okay, regulating emotions. The next is we need to dialogue. You need to have a conversation, if not daily, then weekly, with your addict mind. This is the brain which is still active, which is slowly being rewired and changed. It's also the part of the brain, though, that is the most difficult and the most resistant to your change. You need to learn to dialogue with that, to talk about it, your thoughts, your attitudes. Stacking your skills, your wins, stacking the days, the months, maybe the years, will help control not only your emotions, but also help control that dialogue. Because you're going to have self-talk. Now, self-talk is crucial, so crucial to your entire reframing. Negative self-talk does not help. You need to be positive. You need to listen to motivational speeches, videos. You need to write down on sticky notes positive phrases, maybe even scripture verses. You need to make that available to you. So, you need to control your self-talk. You also need to dialogue with yourself. You need to control your emotions. Another very important part of successfully stacking your wins is setting boundaries. Now, what does that mean? It's easy to say, but what does that mean, right? You want to be successful in your reboot? You want to be successful long-term in your recovery? You need to, it's imperative, you need to set boundaries. Now, this is one of the most difficult skills to acquire because it takes time to determine what exactly your boundaries are. But this means the boundaries are with your loved ones, your spouse, your kids, your best friends, your parents, other family members. You need to set limits for yourself. Maybe how much screen time you have, how long you are out with family or friends, the environment during the holidays or during special occasions that you're maybe around them. How often you're exposing yourself to conversations that could lead to triggers. So you learn more about your triggers and what are the things that possibly could lead you even to wanting to edge. All this is important as you learn to set the boundaries. Again, it's not going to be an easy, quick fix. This will take time, months, maybe even some years. But setting boundaries is very, very important. And of course, I always say this, finding accountability. Accountability is such an important skill for your recovery success. You kind of recognize that you yourself alone will not be successful. You need a cheerleader. You need a champion for yourself. You, of course, can do these things, and you should, but you need someone else who can possibly guide you, or at least someone else who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to keep you honest. Now, understanding these skills, what exactly is necessary for a reboot, how to effectively stack these wins, this is what mentoring from me will do. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, to book a time. Let's talk. Let me help you tailor-made make a program of recovery. All I need is 90 days, to get you on the straight path. So, brothers, what's holding you back from your success? Nothing. Your tomorrow starts today. Blessings.